Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So today, things are looking good once again, especially with altcoins, especially with the ones that I've been talking about recently. But I am getting asked. I'm seeing a lot more people wonder if altcoins, if they're getting too hot, are they topping out, or will the insane pumps that we have been witnessing, will they continue? Well, that's what today's stream is all about. So, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, although on weekends I tend to be off a little bit, so bear with me. But make sure you hit that notification bell, and also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Now, some people say that notifications aren't working. If that's the case, you have to unnotify and re-notify. I think that helps. So anyways, let's do this. Thanks for tuning in. A lot of people in the chat today already. A lot of people bored this Sunday. All right, let's start out with Bitcoin. So I'm using the GetRx terminal, which is really, really good. It's basically TradingView, but it's a little bit slower. But you do get some cool indicators, and I'm going to show you one right now. But Bitcoin is at 56,800, so a little bit lower than yesterday. Just slightly lower, but overall things are still in recovery mode. So I guess the big question is, what is going to happen this week? Last week, of course, we had expirations week. Bitcoin went sideways. The week before, we had a little bit of a dip. And this correlates with what has happened over like the last 4 months, 3 months. Basically every time, towards the end of the month, Bitcoin has come down, but then afterwards has rallied pretty significantly. And one of those AROC indicators, you can see these green arrows, that's like pointing out buy, and red being pointing out sell. You can see that this was end of January, huge buy. Right, all the way up here, the sell. This is the end of February right here. Okay, pretty significant. And this was where we were before. So halfway through April, we came down a little bit. This is showing a green, and of course, that is when expirations happen. So things are still in recovery mode. So I'm thinking that this week will be pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Bitcoin has been stagnant actually for a very long time. Right, if you look at all the way back to about February, about mid-February till now, so we're talking about roughly 3 months, Bitcoin has been going sideways on a grander scale. Obviously, day-to-day, week-to-week, there's a lot of movement, but if you zoom out and you realize that, yeah, we're pretty much still just going sideways, right? But we're inching higher, the 60,000 mark. Of course, we have broken it a few times. Let's see if we could permanently break that and head higher, make a new high, 65, 70, 80,000. Could this be the start? Could May be the start of that, since we've been so stagnant? Maybe, right? So this is looking pretty good. So we'll see. This week should be a good week, but we'll see what happens. But we know that while Bitcoin has been going sideways and having some up and downs, the altcoins have really exploded. Really exploded, right? And that brings me to today's topic. Are altcoins too hot? Are they getting too hot? This notion of BTC dominance that a lot of people don't pay attention to, but some people are starting to. I think this is important. And that's because Bitcoin dominance right now is falling. It's falling hard. So look at today. Bitcoin dominance is now below 48%. Just last night when I was streaming, it's like 48.2. The day before was like 48.7, and it was 49. I mean, and this is coming down from our 50, 70s, 60s, 50s. Now we're in the 40s. Can it go back down to the 30s? Well, I'm going to explain why I think it can happen. Do you think that this week the stock market crash? I don't know. Is it too late to trade on Matic? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's too late. And I think Luna is also a good project too. Now, so you might be thinking, well, what's the big deal about Bitcoin dominance falling, right? Well, you got to think about, Bitcoin has been stagnant. So altcoins have been going up So what does that mean? Kenneth, appreciate that. Does that mean retail investors are simply ignoring Bitcoin? Or does that mean institutional investors have stopped buying and then, retail investors have just continued to buy? Like, what's the deal? And what is this relationship, right? Bitcoin dominance, if you don't know, is basically, if you look at the market cap Bitcoin and you divide it out with the overall market cap, which is at 2.22 trillion, which is near its all-time high right now. So you could see that this is now less than this. Before, this was way above. Traditionally, in the past, this Bitcoin dominance has been like really high, 80s and 70%. And now we're down to 47. So can it continue to go down? And it could continue to go down even if Bitcoin just does not move. Even if Bitcoin stays at these levels or stays below 60,000, Bitcoin dominance could continue to drop while everything else is going up. I mean, it's pretty clear. Ethereum is at a new high, right? Almost surpassing 3,000. Binance Coin is at a new high. Dogecoin is nearing its new high. Cardano is at its high. Uniswap is at its high, right? So most of these, VeChain is at its high. Solana is at its high. Theta is at its high, right? So you could see that even if Bitcoin stays flat, Bitcoin dominance could still fall because altcoins continue to go up, right? So, all right, but here's the thing. Let's dig a little deeper. I think Bitcoin dominance will continue to go down, all right? And here's why. This is a chart of Bitcoin dominance going back all the way to 2013. And, 2013 to 2017, yeah, there's some up and downs, but for the most part, Bitcoin dominance was always above 70, it was 80s, 90s, until 2017 happened, until Ethereum debuted, until smart contracts debuted, and things really changed. And you could see that Bitcoin dominance fell from 86% all the way down to 37.84%. And Ethereum dominance went up to 31%, almost 32%. It looked like Ethereum was going to flip-flop Bitcoin. And then afterwards, Bitcoin came right back up to about 60-something, and Ethereum dropped back down to about 10-something. Right? So this we have seen before. 2017, we have seen before. The environment, you could argue, is different. The dollar amount, you could argue, is different. But we have seen this before, where Bitcoin dominance has fallen drastically, and it seems like it's just all out altcoin season until it flips back to Bitcoin. But, I thought it'd be interesting to just look at a historic snapshot at that point in time when Ethereum was climbing and Bitcoin was falling. So this is back in June of 2017. Not too long ago, less than 4 years ago. Most of you guys watching me have been through this. And how many of us wish we bought more Bitcoin at 2,500? In fact, around this time is when I rebought in 2017. I think I bought around 1,500, 2,000. At least that's some of my Bitcoins. But I look at it. The overall market cap for Bitcoin is only 42 billion. That's less than Doge today. So think about that. Well, look at Ethereum, 35 or 34, closing at 35 billion. You could see how close these two were, right? Kind of shows you when altcoins pump, they can really, really, really pump. XRP was at 11 billion. And XRP still has not come close to its 2018 high. But I think the important thing is, and you look at some of these projects, of course, you guys still recognize Litecoin, Ethereum, NEM, Dash, IOTA, Monero, Zcash. I mean, almost every one of these projects is still around. And Doge was in the top 20. Hey, BitConnect was still around. Doge was number 11, 19 at 350. All right. So what's my point to this? Well, I know the dollar amounts are a lot less, but look at the percentages. Like Ethereum was basically getting to 1-to-1, right? The dominance was pretty similar. Even XRP, you look at that, it's about a quarter of Bitcoin. So, you look at these, like the percentage, and unfortunately I don't have a big breakup, like in terms of the percentages versus Bitcoin. But you can see that altcoins, when they get hot, they get really, really, really hot, right? So if you translate that to today's terms, can Bitcoin dominance do something like this where it continues downwards, and you can see it go down already? Can it continue to go downwards and altcoin dominance continue to go upwards? My take is yes. Yes, because we have seen that before. We have seen it where altcoins get really close to Bitcoin, get really close in market cap, get really close in dominance. And even though the dollar amounts are much larger, but I think, it's more of the same. You have more awareness, more money, more people involved, right? So of course the dollar amounts could be a lot higher. But you know what? When you combine retail buying, FOMO, and excitement and speculation and all that, it could definitely continue. It could definitely continue. But here's the thing. What could also continue and may come back is Bitcoin dominance. A lot of people tend to ignore Bitcoin at this point. They're like, why should I hold Bitcoin? Everything is going to altcoins, right? But just like 2017, when everyone thought that Bitcoin was pretty much going to be overtaken by Ethereum, guess what? Bitcoin dominance shot up. The latter half of 2017 is when Bitcoin went from 2,500 all the way to 20,000. It did a 10x. And during that time, altcoins really struggled until Bitcoin topped out, the bubble burst. Then altcoins really rally hard. But from June all the way to December, that's when Bitcoin rallied hard, really hard. And we could definitely see something like that happen again this year. Remember, we're only in May, right? Maybe come June or July, we're going to see the same thing. This is why I still stress to have a diversified portfolio. But the whole point of having diversified portfolio is you have the stability of Bitcoin, but you'll have the growth of the altcoins, right? So if you do have a lot, 50% of your portfolio, 25% in big caps, 25% in small mid caps, you're doing really well. You're gaining both sides, right? And that's why I still stress that. I think that's the best way to go. But to answer this question, are altcoins getting too hot? My response is no, because I think this market is nowhere close of topping out. I think Bitcoin is going to go much higher. And I do think there's going to be more money coming into the space, especially from retail investors. And with all that, I think altcoins are going to continue on. They're going to continue on much, much higher for the rest of this year. All right. I don't know what that was, but that was loud. All right. Now, before I get into Q&A, I did want to mention that some of the coins I've been talking about, right? Some of the ones I've been creating videos recently, like how I put a big amount of money into some of these altcoins. And also I've been talking a lot about, I just created a video about FOMOing in. A lot of them were related to Binance Smart Chain stuff. But, Solana was one that I covered recently. I think they're going to do fantastic. They are doing very good. Today's a little bit slower, but they're coming up. VeChain, of course, continues their run up, making a new high. So I love to see that. There's a lot of these altcoins that are doing very, very, very well. And if you go into the Binance Smart Chain, I said don't sleep on some of these, like PancakeSwap above $40. Yesterday, I said, you know what? Even Bakery Token, Bakery Swap, even though they were at a high, I'm like, I'm going to put some more in. I'm going to dollar cost average some more because I think they're going to become the dominant NFT play for quite some time. Maybe Binance's own NFT will take over, but until then, they're the dominant one. And look at them. They're up another 20%. I've talked about Venus endlessly before, saying it's the maker DAO of Binance Smart Chain. They're up 20%. So don't sleep on the Binance Smart Chain stuff, especially when you look at TVL, total value locked in. Total value locked in on Ethereum right now is 68 billion, which is still climbing very good. But total locked in for Binance Smart Chain stuff is at 46. And this gap between them is closing in very, very, very fast. And if you look at something like Venus and PancakeSwap, they both have over 10 billion of dollars total value locked in. And if you looked at Maker and Uniswap, it's actually equivalent and actually a little bit more, right? This is why I think Binance Smart Chain stuff, especially DeFi stuff, and pretty soon maybe NFT stuff, will really, really catch up and go up in a big way. So don't sleep on them. Lastly, before Q&A, wait, I do have, before these super chats disappear, Versity, Ubix, I say neutral on both of them. A lot of hype around Ubix. Bunny seems undervalued, but Bunny is like a yield farming, like liquidity play. And for most part, not a whole lot of them have been doing well. Like just being like a liquidity provider. So it could come up, but I've seen others where it's just really stagnant. You send a super chat twice. Zilliqa is up and coming, so I think they could do well. All right, so before Q&A, my new sponsor today is Weentar. And they're a social media platform, or a rewarding social media platform for actually creators and celebrities. Sounds like a lot of projects, or another one that I'm involved with. So Weentar is basically trying to revolutionize social media right now, which is basically, if you think about it, you are the product. Okay, you're not the consumer. For social media, you are the product. The consumer is actually advertisers, right? So you get on social media, you get on Facebook, you get on whatever, you're posting for free, and you think you're the main, like the main client or customer of Facebook or Twitter or whatever. No, you're not. You're not. You know, these social media companies, what they're doing is they take your data and then they sell it to advertisers, because advertisers wants to advertise, right? They're the ones that's paying for your information, so they're the customers. So someone like Weentar, they want to change that. They want to make sure that you get to monetize your own data, right? And if you happen to be a celebrity or influencer, then of course you can monetize that. If people want to follow you, you could create your own custom tokens. Also, you could create NFTs based on your videos and pictures. You know, so they're trying to basically bring the power back to the people. And as a token holder, right? Of course, you can get access to content that you normally can't. Private communities, direct access to celebrities, early access to things like tickets or content, right? And of course, there's many other reasons why you want to hold it. So it's basically trying to disrupt social media. There's other projects like this, but Weentar seems like they're really going after, right now, they're going after celebrities. They're going after big time players to really help them jumpstart. And they are right now having an IEO right now on Chain X. And they are having IEO, and plus they've also partnered up with Pantera, one of Korea's leading growth accelerators. So they're really serious about growing and gaining attention for this project right now. So if you want to check them out, their URL is in the description of this video. All right, that's it, guys. Let's do some Q&A. I missed a lot, so I have to scroll back. Someone asked about Zilliqa. I did a interview with Armit, so take a look at that. They're working on a lot of things. And you know what? I think they're good. I heard about the Hotbit hack. Should I be worried? Well, if you have your funds on Hotbit, then yeah, you should be worried. So I don't know if they have insurance, they could track it down, they could get the funds back. And it happens every so often. You know, some of these changes, you just don't know how good their security is. So you got to be careful. Yesterday when I looked at the whales, I know that 4 of the top 20 hold Nervous Network. Thoughts? I have seen that before. Nervous Network is an old project, been around for a while. It's basically an aggregator of tokens and cross-chain compatibility. But beyond that, I don't really hear much traction about them right now. Origin Protocol, I'd like. It's a decentralized marketplace, and I NFT marketplace now. Can you look at Hydra? Yeah, I have looked at Hydra. I don't quite understand what they are. They're a chain that all the things I've read is just about them being deflationary. That's really it. So I don't have any comments on them. Panther swap on BSC going crazy right now. I've heard of it. Someone mentioned it this morning. I don't know. There's a lot of swap plays that come out, right? I don't know if I trust them fully because you have some that's out there that's just not doing very well. The major ones, like I think PancakeSwap is doing well because it's the biggest AMM. I think Bakery Swap is doing well because they're the biggest NFT play right now on BSC. And Venus is doing well because they're the biggest lending company, right? So these are like the market leaders, even though they're still very undervalued versus their Ethereum counterpart. So like a new one, they could come out and be very hot. I don't know how they're going to differentiate themselves, right? So I guess just be careful about it. NFT art finance. I don't really have any thoughts on it. Zero Exchange. I think I've looked at this before. It's just an exchange with 0 fees, I think. Yeah. So there's a lot of projects that's like this. It's like a terminal that allows you to have, like, this reminds me of Orion protocol, which has a terminal that also has swaps and provides liquidities from centralized exchanges and dexes. So it's kind of like that. Torino, I forgot. That sounds so familiar. I can't even find it anymore. Turnio. I think I covered them before. I don't remember what they're about. We empower companies to be their own bank. Okay, so they're a payment company. They look okay. They look okay. I don't know what really makes them stand out versus all the other players in the game, but they look okay. They look okay. When would I give Holochain some love? You know what? I was actually looking into them, looking into their blog to see if there's anything that changed with Holochain, and it looks like they're working on a new chain that's supposed to be better. A little bit better, and I didn't quite get how it was better, but they removed some kind of technical layer that just made it easier for them to audit and track things and possibly deploy. So that's the thing. I think they call it an RSM, Holochain RSM or something like that. So I guess we'll see how good it is afterwards. I looked at Happy before. They're all about security, basically providing warnings. They're an Oracle that provides warnings on security stuff. So I don't know. Didn't really impress me. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at that, Matthew. That's just another P&D. Trias, I looked at it. It's a cloud computing platform, and the only thing that it has is the creator is a PhD from Oxford. That's it. I don't see any other thing that makes it stand out. And there's a lot of cloud computing plays out there, so I don't know what makes them very different than everything else. I think people talk about them because they pumped recently, but that's the only thing I think people are looking at. Do you know anything about Binance Visa card, how it works? Is it a debit card? I actually don't know how it works. I don't know. I never got one. I don't even know. I don't think U.S. residents can get one, first of all. So I don't know how that works. I don't know if it's like like a prepaid card, kind of like how Crypto.com does it, or if it's actually a real, credit card, or it's a debit card of some sort. Thoughts on Injective Layer 2 DEX. Mainnet set to launch in 2 months. Yeah, I have looked at it. It's a DEX for like derivative products. So I don't know if you're excited about that, I guess, but there's just I don't know. There's so many projects that's involved with like derivatives or weird DeFi stuff that no one really understands or cares about. They just care about if the coin pumps. I don't know if Injective falls into that. Cindy or Sindel, I'm not going to talk about Hex on this channel. Never. Did I do? I have not looked into them yet, this DeFi chain. So you have to wait. Got some gifted Algorand. Should I hold it? Hey, if it's a gift, why not? Just hold it. On Federal Reserve, yeah, B2B lending similar to Aave, 30, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I believe that they have 30 billion TVL versus Aave, whereas expected. What makes you think it's going to hit that high? If Aave or Compound didn't hit 30 million TVL, what makes you think that on Federal Reserve will do it? And honestly, I hate that name too. Polka Starter, I mean, it's hot. The IDOs are hot, but Polka Starter itself is not. All right, last few questions. I'm gonna let you guys go. Alien Words, I'm not played it. I know it's very hot on Wax right now. I'm actually surprised that Wax have not moved up more. Wax is a NFT play. There's a lot of games and NFTs on Wax, so I'm surprised Wax has not moved more. But I guess overall, not too bad, 55%. Alien World, supposedly one of those popular games right now, but I have not played. CoinX, which is a DEX on Cosmos ecosystem used in China mainly. I doubt it's mainly used in China because China doesn't allow any crypto trading, so I don't really buy that. If it's a DEX, it's a DEX, but I don't know what I could say about it. The main reason ETH doesn't pass 3,000 a couple of days, there's no main reason. It's it's been going up. You just have to wait for it. Christopher, I'm glad to hear that. Thoughts on Prosper Predict? It's a low cap on Binance. Vitalik mentioned predict the markets are undervalued. I personally can't. I don't get predicting markets. You know, you just have a bunch of people making bets basically on what's going to happen, and I guess you use machine learning and aggregate all the data, and then that'll come true. I don't think that's true at all. Just because you have a whole bunch of people making bets on something does not make it true. So I've never gotten the point of predicting markets, at least in crypto space. I don't know if in the outside world they work differently, but all the ones in crypto, you're just like making bets on calls, and I just don't see. Rio, appreciate that. Lagavulin whiskey. Yeah, I don't like Monero. I mean, it's fine if you want to use it. If you want to use it, you want to hide your transactions, great. But if you want to make money from it, I just feel like it's going to be delisted from all the exchanges in the future, and then that's going to cause the price to be stagnant or go down. So, Keep token is held. I mentioned that yesterday when I was looking through Coinbase Ventures yesterday, and I looked at 3 other VC companies before. All of them held Keep token, and I said that yesterday too. I'm like, I don't know what it is about Keep token, but every single VC company like holds it. So it's really strange. So it's about privacy. It's about securing data privately in an encrypted format or cryptographic format, and accessing it when you need to. I mean, that's the premise of it. But there's a lot of VCs that really love Keep Network. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it'll be good. All right, that's it, guys. That's it overall. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Are altcoins getting too hot? Way too hot? Have they topped out? You know, my opinion is no. No. We have seen this before, even though the dollar amount is vastly higher. But when you compare it to Bitcoin, you compare it to the landscape today versus even 4 years ago, it was very, very different. Very, very different. The ability to buy and trade is a lot more accessible now. There's a lot more projects, a lot more companies that offer it. There's a lot more liquidity in the market now. There's a lot more bigger players in the market. And there's generally more understanding of the market too, because a lot of people have been around for the past few years. So I think as long as Bitcoin continues to hold steady or go up and make a new high, which I definitely think it will, you know, the entire market will rally. And as long as that happens, altcoins will rally as well. So hang in there, be diversified, don't be too greedy, right? Dollar cost average, buy the dips and hodl. and you'll do just fine in this market. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned tonight for my stream, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one, guys. Last question, Okta, gaming-related company. Okay, I'll take